Now that you are the leader of your team, where you used to be peers with them, you have to take the initiative to let them know where the boundaries are. You have to let them know that there may be certain topics or certain things that you can do or talk about, and where are the things that you can't do or can't talk about. Your team will actually thank you for setting the stage for them. You and your team are going to come across many situations where it is seldom black and white and really more different shades of grey. Your team may have a different interpretation of where they think the boundaries are. Now, usually where the boundaries are will be what is best for the team and for the business. When you establish boundaries, you're exercising your judgment. This actually allows your team to be able to operate well, knowing where the limits are. And in some way, these boundaries eventually become the culture of the team. When you are a team member, your team leader would have set expectations on the results that you need to deliver. And this empowers you because then you can work within limits in order to achieve those results. Now, as the team leader, you need to do the same with your team. With your promotion to now leading the team, the rest of your former peers may still be doing the same job, or in some cases, their roles and responsibilities may have changed. You need to now have a conversation with them, verbally communicate, and even document what are some of the changes, what are some of their new job scopes and responsibilities, and the results that they need to deliver, along with any positive or negative consequences for crossing those boundaries. When you do so, you are empowering your team to be able to operate best within the limits that they know. And boundaries make sense only when you are willing to enforce positive and negative consequences. Positive consequences could be a promotion, a reward, a commendation, or further opportunities at work. Whereas a negative consequence could be something as simple as a private one-on-one conversation to identify undesired behaviors. A leader once told me, what you ignore becomes accepted. One of the best ways to establish boundaries is when you come across situations and how you respond to those situations become accepted. Your team expects some things to change now that you're in charge. When you come across positive incidents that are worth raising to the team, you should do that. And by doing so, you are verbally reminding your team what are the expectations that they need to meet. When you come across negative situations, you need to respond to that quickly as well and address them. Failing to do so will cause you to lose respect from other team members who are expecting you to lead by example and to enforce the boundaries that you have set. Let's summarize the 8 ways that you can establish boundaries as a new leader. To be able to establish boundaries with your team, you need to first start with yourself. Why are you leading? How are you going to do it? And importantly, how do you see yourself as the leader of your team? How do you lead? Are you the lead at the front, guide by the side, or support from the back kind of a leader? When you do this enough with consistency, it will indirectly establish boundaries with your team. Review enough about yourself so that your team has a sense of who you are as a person. Why are you leading? What do you stand for as a leader? And how you lead. So far, the previous 3 ways talk about establishing boundaries within yourself. With the 4th way, you then take these internal boundaries and establish them with your team. You will be able to easily lead by example in establish these boundaries with your team because your words, actions, and decisions are a representation of the internal boundaries that you have set with yourself. As a peer, being likable helps you to get along with your team. As a leader, being likable is less important. You still need to get to know your team members so that you can help them. But always remember that you're work friends, and it doesn't mean that you have to be friends outside of work. Some boundaries at work are absolute, such as honesty and delivering the desired results. Other boundaries, such as access to information, tend to be on a case-by-case basis. You need to let your team know where those boundaries are so that they can work effectively within them. You establish boundaries when you verbalize or put them down in writing and you let your team know about them. You give the boundaries meaning when you're willing to enforce positive and negative consequences that comes with them. You need to take ownership and take the initiative in establishing boundaries within yourself and in communicating the boundaries with your team. Your team, in fact, is expecting you to establish those boundaries, communicate it to them, and to enforce them. So in doing my research in order to answer this question and in coming up with the 8 ways to establish boundaries as a new leader, the one thing that I've come to realize is that when you want to establish boundaries with your team, you need to first start by establishing boundaries with yourself. Why do you lead? And is that reflected in how you are leading? Leadership of others starts with leadership of yourself. What are your personal values? What do you stand for and what will you not stand for? What do you choose to accept within your team and what will you not accept? These are questions that you need to first answer within yourself before you can answer them for your team. When you have established boundaries within yourself, then it becomes easier for you to establish boundaries with your team through your words, actions, and decisions. If you enjoyed this video so far, really appreciate if you give me the thumbs up. It helps me out with the YouTube algorithm. And if you have yet to subscribe to First Time Leadership, do click on that subscribe button to be notified of when new videos come out to help you with your leadership journey. And lastly, if you have any comments about what I've shared in this video, do share a comment below. So you may have seen earlier that as I was going through this video, I have identified a number of traits that are relevant to addressing this question here. These traits I have identified from my first-time leadership research, and are actually part of a set of 30 traits that will help you to be a successful leader. If you want to find out more about those 30 leadership traits, there's a link in the description below. Just click on it. I hope that the 8 ways that I've shared in this video will help you to establish boundaries as a new leader. Let me know what you think. Do share in your comments below. In any case, my name is Daniel Lee from First Time Leadership. I look forward to speaking with you soon.